I'm going to minimize this. That there. Okay. All right. So I said, my name is Penny. Tonight we're going to talk about nutritional healing. Okay. True beauty reboot is nutritional healing. What you put into your body shines through to the outside. One of the ways you can trigger the healing process is to do a shed challenge. I'm going to go over it just briefly here, and I'll give you some tips and ideas in the process. One of the things that we need to work on right away, and even if we're not doing a challenge, it's mindset. Webster says it's a mental inclination, tendency, or habit. It is so important to get those negative Nellies out of your head for everything you're going to do. If it's the first time, if it's the 90th time, you have to have the mindset that you are in a good place, you are safe, and this will work. Okay. When everyone is a little bit different, I myself need a plan in my head. I need all the details so that I can set my mind up for success. That's just the way I operate. If there's too many unknowns, I'll get through it because I don't wing it very well. But others, that's how they work it. They wing it. So everybody's a little bit different. But when you change your focus, your mindset shifts. Okay, we're going to go on to planning. Because sexy starts in your gut, the total body detox is going to be a key in your beauty reboot. So you're going to want to be taking that. Another thing you're going to want to do is plan out your meals. You want to set yourself up for success. I do this anyway, even if I'm not in a challenge, and it's not something that's really super fancy. I have an ugly clipboard with a notebook paper, and on the left-hand side of the sheet of paper, it says BLD, 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 all the way down the paper. And that's where I write in what we're having for breakfast, what we're having for lunch, what we're having for dinner. Write it down. It just, especially when my kids were little, I had to do that because otherwise dinner time would come around and it'd be like, we have nothing taken out. What are we going to eat? Okay. And that usually ends you down a wormhole of not eating very well. Another thing you can do is to inform your family, like the people you live with. I don't mean like making phone calls and stuff, but inform your family, encourage them to do it with you. Okay. And get rid of the junk food. Okay. So in a shed challenge, you eliminate dairy, sugar, and processed foods. Okay. So I like to throw all that stuff in a bag and well, not the dairy, but you know what I'm saying, and throw it all in the back of my pantry. So out of sight, out of mind, right? That for me is like 30–40% of success. That's my success rate. Another thing you want to think about is, are you going to eliminate coffee? Some people get very overwhelmed when you say you have to eliminate your coffee. You don't have to, but is it serving you, right? One of the ways that I plan ahead is I freeze my smoothie ingredients in bags to make it easier in the morning when I like to take my smoothie. And the bags are listed on the bottom there. That was the last shed challenge I did. That's what my freezer bags look like. I just shove everything in a bag and freeze it and then take it out the day that I need it. Okay. Prepping. Okay, so prepping for this challenge, you want to buy organic. You want to reduce your toxic load and buy as organic as you can. Okay, I mean, as much. The ingredient list should be very short or non-existent, like carrots don't have an ingredient list, right? Beets don't either. So most everything you're going to buy is going to be in the produce section or the freezer section, fruits and vegetables, frozen fruits and vegetables. This entered my head, so I threw it in the slide. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but the PLU codes, the stickers that are on your produce, if it starts with a 3 or 4, it's conventionally grown. Okay, it's got all the junk on it. 9 means it's organic, and if it starts with an 8, it's genetically modified. You have to wash your produce. Just because it's organic doesn't mean it's not dirty. Okay, 30 people have touched your apple that you're going to be eating for breakfast between here and here, you know, between the farmer and then when you get it. There's a lot of people touching your food. You're going to want to clean it. So what I do is I wash the produce in a sink full of like lukewarm, not hot, not cold. Vinegar works a little bit better if it's room temperature. So about 1 to 2 cups, depending how big your sink is. I just fill up this one side of the sink and put 2 cups of vinegar in it, throw all my produce in there and let it soak. I don't know, it depends upon how long or what I'm doing. If I'm putting groceries away, it's probably going to sit there for 30 minutes or so until I get around to prepping that. Another way that I do some prepping is a very easy meal, right? That's the last thing you want to do is be stressing over food. Sheet pan meals are so easy. They literally are veggies and meat or just veggies. And you can have a different version every day, okay? You don't have to have just one vegetable. You can have an array of vegetables, right? Broccoli, cauliflower, rutabaga, carrots, beets, radishes, you know, all of that. But just think about how many vegetables are. Think about how many meat options there are. It's endless. So this is what a sheet meal looks like. Okay, it's very basic. It's very easy. It's one pan. So an example would be you would marinate your meat. Okay, if you choose to. You don't have to. You can just salt and pepper it and season it. But in this example, I marinated the meat in like an Italian vinaigrette type thing. And then you take your meat out when it's done marinating, put it on your sheet pan, cook it till it's about half done. Line your pan with parchment paper or a silpat, a silicone mat, and bake it at about 350 until it's about half done. And then in the meantime, cut up your veggies. I spray the vegetables with like avocado oil or olive oil. And I love dill on vegetables. So I sprinkle it with dill, any of the herbs or spices that you like. I really like chipotle chili powder. That goes on vegetables. It goes on meat. Sometimes it all has the same seasoning on it, but it tastes different, right? And then, so when the meat's half done, you're going to take it out. You're going to put your veggies on, shove it back in, and cook it till the meat's done. The veggies might be al dente, but that's fine. The time is going to vary with what kind of cut of meat it is, what kind of vegetable you have, things like that. So it's going to be a play it by ear. You're going to have to experiment with it. Okay, so this is the smoothie recipe that's in this shed challenge. So 2 cups of water, that always goes in your blender first. If I'm freezing the bags, I'm not putting water in the bag because it's like a big old ice cube or an ice ball in my blender and I can't, you know, the vegetables are all going through, but I got this big ball of ice that I can't blend. Your blender's not going to like you if you do that. So add the water when you are making your smoothie. 2 heaping handfuls of spinach. If you have digestion issues or thyroid issues, you should saute your greens. It will lessen the oxalates and make it easier to digest. One more thing I want to mention about greens. If you're on blood thinners, you should always consult your doctor when doing a green smoothie challenge or you're upping your green greens intake, because the vitamin K found in the leafy greens could counteract with the effects of your blood thinner. Okay, and kale, collard greens, and parsley are some of the highest in vitamin K. So that's my little note on that. Collard green or kale, I typically use collard greens. My thinking process is I eat kale like in a salad, so, and I never eat collard greens. I mean, I've only ever had collard greens in a smoothie. So, 2 ribs of celery. Celery is like salty, right? But if you have digestion issues, you should take, or diverticulitis and those kinds of things, you should take the strings off of your celery and or saute it with the greens. Okay, cucumbers. I know the recipe says I have a cucumber, but 9 times out of 10, I'm throwing in the whole cucumber. I love cucumbers. So when making smoothies, there's a few varieties of cucumbers out there. The kind of cucumber that I use is the one with the dark green peel, and the seeds are typically bigger. One thing about seeds are life, right? So inside that seed is a whole nother, they're so nutritious. There's a lot of phytonutrients in seeds. So in smoothies, they go in there. Cucumbers are also high in water, and they can balance your hydration with the minerals that are in the cucumber. Green apple. If you don't have a green apple, use a red apple. Green apples are in the recipe because they're lower in sugar. Core it, chop it into chunks. Again, if you're having digestion issues, peel it. However, one thing I want to say about if you're freezing your smoothie ingredients, you're going to notice when you put your smoothie into this bag, it filled the bag up, but when it thaws, it's probably a third of what it used to be. So the freezing process is also breaking down a lot of those things that are hard to digest. So freezing, thawing takes care of some of the digestion of it. Also, if you don't have a high-powered blender, this will also help you blend these foods. It's breaking it down. The freezing process is breaking it down, so you don't need that, Vitamix or any other high-powered blender. A regular blender will work just fine. A pear. Core and chop into chunks. It's okay to use really ripe fruit. The ones with the big brown spots on it. They're probably going to be sweeter. They're riper. So go ahead and use them. No one's going to know. Okay. 1 banana. If you're throwing away ripe bananas or any other ripe fruit, you are so missing out. If you've never tried mango sorbet, oh, it's so good. They're great for smoothies. They're great for ice cream, sorbet, banana bread, banana cake. Yeah, don't throw that. Throw it in your freezer. Don't throw it in your garbage. Half a lemon. Okay, so I use the rind in everything. I cut them into little round slices, and I put them on a cookie sheet, and I freeze them. When they're frozen, I throw them in a freezer bag. And then when I need them, I just take them out and I use them on top of my salmon. I put them in my water. I use them for this recipe, okay? Anytime I need a lemon or a lime or anything like that. I do the same thing with grapefruit. If the grapefruit's getting to the point where it's kind of, it's ripe, I'll slice it up and freeze it. And if you've never had a frozen grape, to die for. Okay, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I don't put the cinnamon in the freezer bag. If you're going to freeze your ingredients, I don't recommend putting the cinnamon in. It sticks to the bag, and then half your cinnamon is still stuck to the bag. What you could do, I've never done this, but what you could do if you do put the cinnamon in the freezer bag is you could put your 2 cups of water in the empty freezer bag that you've just emptied your stuff into, and swish it around, pour that into the blender, right? So some of your cinnamon will be, hopefully it'll wash some of the cinnamon away, but it's just as easy to put 2 cups of water and a teaspoon of cinnamon in the blender. Okay. It's pretty quiet out there. You guys still out there? The recipe that we just talked about is for 1 blenderful. It makes 2 quarts or 4 pints. Okay. And I say that because I put them in jars. So some of the things you can add to your smoothie recipe that's not in the recipe, you just add as much as you want or as little as you want. Pineapple is a good one. It's great for digestion. Ginger is great for digestion and circulation. Collagen, yes, great for your joints. It's also great for gut health. Okay. I put about a 1/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt also in my smoothies. Gives it a little, ups the mineral content. Chia seeds, awesome place for, awesome way to get your calcium. Hemp seeds, that's a plant-based protein. Beets, I have added beets to this. Now I will tell you something though. The beets, the medium-sized beet, I would cut into 4 pieces and put a quarter, put one of those quarters in your smoothie. A small amount of beet goes a long way. Limes, mango, anything like that. That's great for add-ons. How much of it can you drink? You can drink as much as you want to. When I first started doing the Shed Challenge, I would drink 1 quart for breakfast. That was a little too much for me. Okay. It's going to be different for everybody. Just kind of feel yourself out. It ended up to be too much. So I cut it back to 1 pint in the morning for breakfast and 1 pint for lunch, which worked out way better for me. Keep in mind, if you do freeze your ingredients, it doesn't take hardly any time to make a smoothie. I'm not chopping anything up in the morning. I'm not struggling looking for ingredients in my refrigerator. It's all in a bag. I just dump it and hit the on button. They last about 3 days in the refrigerator. Now, if you make your smoothies the day before that you're going to drink them the next day, that's fine. But know when you go to open your refrigerator in the morning that there's going to be some separation. Okay. All the green stuff's going to be on top. The water's going to be on the bottom. That's fine. They're still fine. They're still good. There's nothing wrong with that. Just shake it up and it will be really good. Oh, if you're interested in doing the Shed Challenge, get with the person who invited you here to get some more information on that. Okay, this is just kind of a extra slide I threw in here. It was funny because I had this in here before we were talking about it on our Rise threads. So one of the things I've done is I only use clean products on my skin. I use shampoo and conditioner bars, no more plastic bottles. I use unscented laundry soap sheets, no more plastic bottles to lug in the house. I love that. I use essential oils instead of fragrance. Wool dryer balls. You've seen those in the store. I just put essential oils on those and throw them in the dryer. I clean with vinegar. One of the things I do too is I put essential oils in my vinegar so it smells better. And I just recently, like 3 days ago, threw away my coffee pot because of all the plastic parts. I went to a French press and I also have a pour over. So that. Who's got questions?
Have never heard of putting essential oils in vinegar before.
Yep.
Brand new to me.
You know what else?
I use essential oils.
You know what else you can do is you can soak like lemon peels in vinegar or orange peels in vinegar if you don't want to, essential oils are expensive. Orange
Mm-hmm.
peels you got, from your oranges. So, um,
Wow, that's so cool.
put those in there.
I love that.
Awesome.
Where can we find the recipe
Which
or just
recipe?
the one you just shared? Is it?
Oh, um, well, when it goes up, is this video going to record? Yeah, it is recorded. Okay. Um, you could, I can actually bring it up again if you want to take a screenshot of it. Will that work?
I already did, but I was just thinking to send it out to.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. I could write something up for you too, and then just kind of put it in the Arise chat or something. I could do that.
That would be awesome, Penny. And then we can just kind of share that with our guests and our communities.
Sure. Sure, I can do
Yeah.
that.
Thank you, Penny.
Yeah.
Good question, Lynn.
Megan had a question here. Is it okay if I read it, Megan? Should I not eat spinach salads with my hypothyroidism? There's oxalates in all these greens that react with if you have thyroid issues. If you saute them like we talked about, you shouldn't have any problems with it. Everybody's a little bit different with that, so you're going to have to kind of judge it for yourself. The shampoo bars took a little bit to get used to, but now I'm loving it. Where do you find them? Boy, there's so many ads and stuff. I'm talking about the shampoo bars. There was Jenny wanted to know where to get the shampoo bars. The one that I'm using right now is from Camille Naturals, but it's the only one I've ever used, and I like it. I like it a lot. But I was thinking, maybe I should broaden my horizons and maybe try some other ones. Okay. Bumby? I don't think I've ever heard that one. I'm just kind of scanning through the chats to see if I can answer anything in here. Good. Megan says she learned a lot. Thank you. Yep. I want a French press. I wanted a French press too for a long time. And finally, I just looked at my plastic coffee pot and I went, I am done. I'm on a plastic rampage in this house. How to freeze them, Laura. If you guys ever have questions about recipes, I have a ton of recipes. Just text me or get a hold of me, and 9 times out of 10, if I don't have it, I can find it. Do you blend or juice? They both have their spot in the Health Horizon spotlight, right? Blending, you have all the fiber, you have all of the everything. You have the whole fruit, which is when you take something in that's a whole fruit or a whole vegetable, your body knows, oh yeah, this goes there, this goes there, this goes there, this goes there. When you bring in like the juice, it's not that your body doesn't know what to do with juice. Juice is so healthy for you. Juice doesn't have to go through the digestive system. Okay. as much as like a smoothie does, right? It's got fiber in it. It's digesting. Juice, when you're having issues with digestion or you're having stomach issues, I'm not saying the first thing you want to put in there is juice, but it's not heavy on your digestive system, okay? So if you're having digestive issues, that will slim by without having to engage those big, I don't know how to describe it, the big grinding wheels in your digestion. I don't know what that means, but blender juice. Yes, celery, cucumber, apple, so refreshing. Yes, great. My blender is junk, so no way it would work well with that. Oh, what? Explain more on the thyroid. Oh, I don't know a lot about the thyroid. I have friends that have thyroid issues. And I know there's in greens, there's those oxalates that I talked about. I'm not going to even claim I know because I'm not good with the thyroid. To do is make one meal and turn the leftovers into something else the next day to reduce food waste. Yes. You don't have to eat the same thing 2 days in a row. That's exactly why I love those sheet pan meals. They're so versatile. There's got to be thousands of different ways to, different vegetables, different meats, different herbs and spices, different marinades. I mean, there's a lot of ways. It's an easy way to get dinner on the table. Well, you're welcome, Laura. I don't know what you guys were referring to, but Bethany said that is gross. I'm like, wait, what?
That was in reference to all the people like touching
Oh,
all the
yeah,
apples
isn't that
and all the produce. Like,
right? That is gross. You nailed that.
oh, child. Mm-mm.
Mr. Joe just sneezed into his hand, picked up an apple, and threw it in a bag. It's like, oh no, wash, please wash.
Yeah.
Please. So important. Codes are so helpful. Good.
Hey, Penny.
Yeah.
I think you had a few questions that popped up at the end of the chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, his hand's touching. Yeah. When you are eating cruciferous veggies, they should be cooked down because of your thyroid. There you go. Mrs. Jensen knows her thyroid business. So helpful. Thank you. Sherry, cooking sheet pan meals. Wonderful. Awesome. How much beet juice is safe to drink? Okay, let's talk beet juice. Beet juice by itself is hard to drink. It is very woodsy. It's very earthy. How much? Everybody's different, girl. Everybody's different. Start small. Start small. Beets are very nutritious. Very nutritious. But start small. Just like when you're eating beets, right? The next day could be a little shocking. So helpful. Thank you. It was, oh yeah. Oh, good for you, Crystal. Good for you, loving that beet juice up. Okay, guys, it's 9:04. So if you don't have any more questions, I think we have Bethany, is that right? We have a 30-minute hard stop. Hang on, hon, you're muted.
I was muted and just doing my whole thing. Yeah, Crystal, I see you giggling. Yes, we want to respect and honor your time. So, Any questions about anything that we shared tonight, or you want to continue the conversation, just reach out to whoever invited you. We're so excited that you joined us. And we will be back another time to serve y'all again. And thanks for hanging out. You guys all have a great evening and go, get some good nutrition for the rest of the week.
Yes.
All right. Mwah. Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny.